Seven Lamb Productions presents to you End of All Hope. Hello everyone and welcome to the End of All Hope Season 4 recap episode featuring me, Robert Lamb, writer of End of All Hope, and the voice of Scott the few times you hear him. But I want to welcome two very special guests to the podcast. Hope Ennis, who plays Ava. Welcome.
Hello.
And Nick Engelhard, who plays Mark.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Nothing.
Just chilling.
Absolutely nothing.
I mean, are you guys ready to talk some End of All Hope?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yeah, we're going to cry.
Of course. Okay, so
There might be
before we
tears.
even get into it, let me just preface this by saying this is going to be full of spoilers. So if you have not listened
And if
to
you
End of All Hope, do not
Click the
listen to
wrong
this one
one.
first.
If you're listening to this right now, go back. Stop.
Yeah, that's true. Right now, I'm telling you to quit and go back and listen to it in order. Sometimes people will just listen to the top episode, so because it's the newest one.
Yeah. I want to catch up on this podcast, not this episode.
Yeah, not
person.
this episode, unless you want to skip all the other stuff and just learn about what was happening.
Come back to us later.
All right, that's
Hold on,
the best
wait.
option.
Wait. Welcome back. Wasn't
they're
that
gone.
crazy?
Oh my God, all that stuff that happened. All right, actually, that was something that someone mentioned from season 3 recap episode. They said I didn't go into detail enough with what happened to season 3. It ended up just being like us talking and stuff. So I figure what I'm going to do is do a full recap. This will not only help the listeners, but probably you two also. And we'll get into that later on why. But I'm going to do a full recap of season 4 really quick. Just read through this so you guys just sit back and enjoy
Listen.
it. Yeah.
Just going to listen to the sultry
See how
sounds
many
of
times I
Robert's
stutter
voice.
through this. And maybe you can use this as an ASMR. Not that I have the voice for that at all, and I'm not going to whisper at all. So, anyways, season 4 begins with Mia, Kylie, and Ambridge going to rescue Jay. They think he died from the stalker attack against the religious group. Ambridge wants to make sure, so they head down there to investigate after stalkers beam back up. They find nothing but charred bodies, but while investigating, the stalkers beam back down and take some bodies up with them. One stalker explores the place where Ambridge and company are hiding. Kylie and Mia attack, killing the creature quickly. Then they escape to search the buses. On their way back to the bikes, they don't find Jay at the buses either. They figure he's dead. But on their way back to the bikes, they stop by Mia's home. Ambridge sees some movement in his parents' house, and to his surprise, it's Jay. In fact, Jay was thrust from the buses after they discovered he had weapons, and he was taking weapons with him and wanted no part in the alien contact, that they forced him from the bus, and he had to run and hide and find his way to safety, which ended up being Ambridge's parents' home. When Jay is startled by Ambridge and Kylie, he fires at them, thinking they're a creature or something, which attracts shriekers, and they all make a run for it and eventually escape back to the bikes and eventually head back to the QZ, where Ambridge promises to fulfill his promise to Jay and find him a working vehicle. Meanwhile, you guys.
True stars.
Sure. we'll get to that. Dang, shots fired already. Meanwhile, Mark is with Stephanie as they go to help Ava. They believe she's in trouble, but after Mark's unnecessary tussle with one of the mysterious bikers, he finds that Ava is not only well, but safe. The bikers ended up being nice guys who were diverting creatures away from their group after the fireworks were set off. Mark and Ava apologize to each other and both promise to be a little more patient with each other. They head back to the farmhouse and find that Maddie is okay, and she had to have her arm amputated, but it seemed to work. They also were able to retrieve the generator thanks to the bikers' help. They cart it back, and Teddy gets it running. Teddy fulfills his promise and gives them 2 horses, but he asks for one more favor. He wants to do a little science experiment with the dead thrasher, so they test the reach of their EMP device that's in their leg to see how far it can reach, and that will help them determine how far to keep electronics away from thrashers. I don't know if you guys remember any of this, but we'll talk about it after. Back in the QZ in Denver, Mia gets scolded by Roger for going after Jay, but she tells him how much Ambridge has helped with the zone. Mia eventually starts to soften on Roger, realizing he's not as bad as she originally thought. Ambridge and Jay still have trouble finding a working vehicle, and Hudson, who is the designated mechanic, isn't much help due to the lack of supplies. Later, more survivors arrive to the zone, and Roger informs Mia that there is one certain survivor she may be interested in. It's her wife, Chris. She made it to the QZ, and this gives Jay hope for finding his family and Mark and Ava. I feel like I'm giving a report right now. Mark,
you're doing great.
Thanks. So nervous. Mark and Ava continue their travel on horseback and make good distance while traveling through the woods. They hit an old highway with thousands of charred bodies. They find an old quarantine zone, and Ava saves a raccoon and talks about how she misses Jay. Later that night, they're attacked in the woods by a starving bear. The bear runs off, but chasing after the horses. The next morning, they're only able to find one of the horses, Blue. They hop on and take her further west. They eventually find a caravan of people heading north through a field of destruction, overturned trees and brush. They're not sure what could cause that, but they hear of a monster. A man they meet named Sawyer tells them there are more dangers in the ships than they realized. Sawyer also warns them of an encroaching fire, but Mark and Ava decide to chance it and rush through. Meanwhile, Jay still struggles for a working vehicle, even though Ambridge is helping him. Mia, happy with Chris's return, offers her bikes that she was keeping in stock at a house in another town. Jay convinces Kylie to travel with them, and she agrees. They hop on the bikes and depart for the QZ. So now it's Jay, Ambridge, and Kylie together. While traveling, they have some run-ins with thrashers, but never let them get too close to the bikes. One morning, Kylie wakes up to a rattlesnake in her sleeping bag, and Jay helps her get rid of it. They also see a couple of dying shriekers, which look scrawny and starved. They're not sure why, but Jay believes it has to do with the fact that they don't eat anything. They just infect people. They don't eat plants or the people. As they continue west, they eventually take refuge in an abandoned home before a storm hits. A man shows up and claims to be alone, but later at night, this proves to be false. Several of his friends were hiding underneath the house. They come up and fight, and a fight ensues. Ambridge and Kylie manage to kill 3 of them, but Jay lets one go with one of the bikes. He can't end up shooting her. Kylie and Ambridge chase her down and reclaim the bike. Ambridge is furious with Jay for letting her go. Back to Ava and Mark, and we find them in the middle of the woods with fire all around them. They weren't able to beat it. They follow some deer for a while until the smoke becomes too much. They get lost. The horse panics, and they all tumble into a ravine. Ava and Mark get separated as they're floating down the river and wash up in different spots. Ava dislocates her arm, but quickly fixes it. A mysterious girl arrives to aid Ava. The girl is named Brielle, and she's a teenager. They eventually find Mark. And...
I have a good feeling about her.
yeah, we'll get to that too. They go with Brielle to her hideout, which is a cave. There, they find out the girl is by herself, even though she says her mom is coming back. The girl is super friendly, but Ava and Mark want to keep moving, so they leave. One night, while staying under an overpass, Ava and Mark talk about past relationships. Mark mentions how he always missed the chance to ask Ava out, but Mark is happy that they've been able to stay friends. The next morning, Mark thinks they're being followed. They are, by Bree. She's been alone for a long time. She thinks her mom is dead, and she has to join them. They allow it. They continue west, but when they run into 2 men heading the opposite way, they ask why. The men inform them that there is going to be a big battle soon. The military has moved into the area and set up camps because they were able to down an alien ship, and they plan on storming it. That night, while camping out, the group sees tanks and trucks move in, then an alarm sounds. New alien ships appear, and it seems the aliens have set a trap. We're almost done. Back to Jay, Ambridge, and Kylie. Ambridge and Jay argue about that night that he let that girl go. Jay feels bad. He starts having more nightmares, not just of Harris now, but of that girl who stole the bike. He feels useless, but then some good news. They hit California, but it's overgrown. They divert some more and eventually find a safer way of traveling. While camping out, waiting for an alien ship to pass, thrashers arrive and dismantle their bikes. They have to travel on foot now, like Ava and Mark. While walking through the overgrown alien vegetation, they take refuge at a gas station where they restock. Jay apologizes and says he's tired of being a third wheel. He was one with Ava and Mark, too. Ambridge and Jay reconcile. But Mark and Ava aren't having as easy of a time. They run through a war zone. Thrashers, shriekers, stalkers, military men, tanks, jets. It's a battle between humans and aliens. Mark, Ava, and Bree try to make it through, running from house to house through the destruction and debris. At one point, Bree gets separated, and Ava goes back for her. This is when Mark is alone, and while trying to give Ava cover fire, he gets bitten by a shrieker. Oh, no. They almost make it to the woods when an injured soldier appears and attracts hundreds of shriekers their way. While hiding out, Mark gets the idea to lure them away by being bait. Ava says no until Mark informs her of his bite. Reluctantly, she lets him go. He lures the shriekers away before shooting himself. Ava and Bree escape. The next few days are quiet and Ava is hurting. They do eventually make it to Ramona. They find Scott's sister's home. Ava holds on to that last bit of hope, even though the whole town is overgrown and there doesn't seem to be anyone around. She walks inside the house, calling for Scott's name. The end.
Tears.
Whew.
Take a deep breath.
Now, did that all record? That'd be funny if it was like off.
All right, cool.
So
Robert, when are you going to recover everything?
So, did you guys get all that, or you need me to do it again?
Oh, you were talking?
Oh, yeah. You didn't have the headphones on. So if you guys like me doing that, let me know, and I'll do that for season 5 also. But I figure people who, I don't know when season 5 is going to come out, but that way, if you are going to listen to season 5 and you don't want to listen to all of season 4 again, you can just listen to the first 5 minutes of this and get the whole recap.
Yep.
Anyways, let's talk about season 4. There's, especially with your guys' part of the story, Mark and Ava, I tried to go a little bit more in depth with the characters this season, only because like last season, I don't remember, like other than they were at the farmhouse like a lot.
Yeah.
So
Right. It was a definite, I don't know, I felt like it had its own story arc.
I mean, it slowed the pace down a little bit, but I wanted to kind of streamline their situation because they were so close to California now. So I was like, I couldn't fit all of the farm stuff in season 3 because it was already long. It was 18 episodes.
So one thing I feel about the farmhouse is more so than any other structure or place in any of the other story, I could describe the farmhouse to you. Like,
yeah, because they
being down in the basement,
yep,
and then slowly getting the trust and getting put back up into, like, just seeing it's visualized in my head.
Because you guys actually worked at the farm and stuff like that too.
Well, everything else was
chopped
just
down trees. And,
yeah, exactly,
like, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was like a big section of your guys' plot line was just being at the farmhouse and helping them, because I figured you lost the truck, so I thought it'd be cool, like if you guys eventually got horses, and the fact that they had horses, it was a good way, but how do you get it to where they can just have the horses, because you guys aren't going to steal horses from somebody because you guys are too nice. So,
well,
I mean, at this
Ava's
point,
too nice.
Yeah, I do see Mark stealing horses.
Yeah. Mark could steal some horses.
I would steal some horses.
Yeah.
I found these leashed.
Yeah. Near a home with lights on. No, actually, I will say that most people from reviews and people who send us emails and fan mail and all that kind of stuff, everybody seemed to like Mark. They liked Mark a lot.
He was my favorite character.
He was your favorite character too.
Isn't that so hard? That's what I just said. He was my favorite character.
No, I know. I remember you saying that, I think, even after season 1.
Because I really wasn't a fan of Ava in season 1 because I didn't like how...
See, I was a fan of Ava in season 1, and then later on...
But now...
I grew to be a fan of Ava because in this, I think
I
agree with you. She,
like, pushy.
Well, it also, the thing was, it was just like, in the beginning, she had no measure of the gravity of the situation. Like, I'm going to save that dog. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is she's...
But now she's makes hard. Well, now she's like made
Right.
harder decisions.
I think she's made hard decisions, and I think she still has her, her moral compass inside of her.
Right. She still got that.
Well, more so than anybody else in our story arc, that she's maintained it.
Yeah.
She's never let what she would do without aliens affect what she would do with aliens.
But I also think she's like smart and cunning in certain ways that she not manipulates people, but is able to talk to people in the
Persuade
sense of
people
like
to her
she definitely,
side.
she definitely is.
She did that in season 1 and 2.
And
also.
I wonder if it will change in season 5 now that Mark is gone. I wonder if she'll be
That's
more...
one of my things when I'm writing season, because I've already started writing season 5, is like, how is she going to be after Mark? Like after Mark's gone.
Darky.
I always wondered. I'm like, well, the thing is Bree the new Ava and Ava new Mark?
Yeah,
Like, does
so-
she now lead the point where it's
Oh.
like Bree's doing things that Ava would have done, but now Ava's like, we have to keep this train rolling.
to go.
You're like, you have to
gonna
make
take
the
on
harder
that?
decisions.
That is one area that I'm going to explore, is the fact that
Where Ava
I
is.
kind of want Ava to be the protector, like a Mark was to her throughout the whole journey. I think that'd be kind of cool to like kind of shift it and show her, but then also maybe having her become a little bit harder.
I do think she can go
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta
She could-
have Ava shoot somebody that doesn't expect to be shot by Ava.
I do think there's gonna
She
be
won't
some
bam.
brutal. Yeah.
You idiot.
Because
She's
Ava
gonna go steal some horses now.
Ava hasn't killed anyone
Yeah.
yet.
Not intentionally.
She helped stab that Neil or whatever. Or was it Neil or Adam or one of them when they were getting attacked in the woods in season 2 at the end of season 2.
Right.
But Mark was the one who initially killed them.
Yes.
So yeah, she hasn't really had to do any of that, which is funny because like that's kind of what I'm exploring also with Jay and his story too. Like Jay,
he still hasn't done anything.
Jay's a little more like whinier though. Like he complains a lot and all that kind of stuff.
I just feel like he's a series of unfortunate events. It just keeps unfolding in front of him.
Yeah, like I have him. I've always written him as a little bit more immature than any of the other characters.
Like he really is a sidekick, right?
Yeah. I mean, but that's the whole point. Is now it's like, do I explore that? Because when I was doing the recap, it reminded me that like he has helped out. It's just not to the extent of like what Ambridge expects from him and stuff like that. And now that they're traveling together and the world's so dangerous now, it's like he's got to kind of step up his game. Ava hasn't really had to because Mark's there. But she's also, like I said, she's able to talk people down though too.
Okay, but let me hear this out because coming from Mark's perspective, everybody always assumes like, oh, he's leader. He's doing it. I'm doing everything by what she says.
Right. No,
it
that's
is
true.
every
Yeah.
prime directive, whatever you want to
like
call
the
me,
safety
is this.
net.
I feel like a knight the entire series.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's kind of why when I was, so we'll get into, I guess we'll do the finale. We'll talk about it already. The death when you
The what? You told me. You told me I had a cramp.
You said that was just a dream. It was a dream sequence.
So
Pull
wait,
like
before we
Dallas.
go into this, how many times was I shot during this series?
You were shot twice.
3
No,
times
let me
because
think.
I pulled the
Ooh.
trigger on the 3rd.
You were. Oh wait, what are you talking?
Because I still shot myself. I still got shot.
That's true too. I guess
Ha!
if you're calling
Trivia question. It's 3, not 2.
And actually, you got grazed by a bullet in season 1.
Yep.
By the guys robbing the gun store.
Yeah, I got progressively more
yeah.
aggressive with my bullets.
Yeah.
Oh, just missed me. Ow.
But
Ow, that
you've
one really
also-
hurt.
And now
Like,
it's
Yeah. I think the one where you got shot in the leg was the one that like lasted the longest time. It was just like
well, because there was also
they
like that.
removed it, but
So my wife was a avid listener to End of All Hope,
Yeah.
which is why I know a loose amount of everything to it.
right.
She stopped listening when they put me in the chair because she's like, I couldn't do anything other than picture you being tortured. And I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, that happened.
You're like, try being there, okay?
Well, the thing is
Robert beat me while I recorded.
yeah.
I'm like, better.
You think I
do
can
it
act that
better?
good?
Yeah. I'm just like hitting you with a
cane.
Yeah,
Ow.
again. No, I mean, Mark definitely went through a lot, and that was the whole thing. Is I thought about the fact that like, okay, for one thing, Nick here is moving away. soon.
Yes.
He's moving away. I knew that before, and I remember talking
so
to you
he
about
killed me off.
He's like, let's just end it.
His oldest friend literally as
Hey.
dead to me. And apparently to you guys too.
To
Yeah,
you guys.
I want you guys to feel it just as I am. He's dead to everyone. Nick no longer exists.
I'm
what?
moving.
All right. Well,
Dun,
there goes
dun,
Ava.
dun. Everybody knows what happened season 5.
yeah. Doesn't look like Ava's going to make it. No, that was one of the things I remember talking to really all the characters saying that I wanted to eventually kill off one person in the sense of I thought it'd be a little too unrealistic to have all 3 people make it like out of the core group. Now, granted, that could happen. It wasn't a big thing, but I wanted something impactful. But then I couldn't figure out what the best way to do that. If I kill off Jay, then that just eliminates that whole side story because he's
Ambridge
part
has
of the
no real
reason of
connection.
forcing.
Yeah, he is the
that.
connection. And I
Right.
think this is like maybe as a not so avid listener,
Yeah.
I missed that. Like I think he glues that scene together because
Right.
it just like, I feel
Well,
like
it's weird because you guys were only in season 1 together, like all
No,
3
but
characters. Which is crazy.
I always think about like when I'm reading my lines, I was like, I don't know what Jay's doing.
yeah, that's true. Like, what's Jay going through
Is he
right
going
now?
through as much as
Well,
we are?
that's just like we we're gonna follow these deer.
Yeah.
Jay would have loved these.
Jay would have
yeah.
Either that or my leg hurts.
But that's the thing, and as I figured out of everybody, I think I was like, you know what? I think Mark would probably be that person because his whole thing has been trying to get Ava to California, and he's like, that's his whole goal was just to get her there because he cared for her so much. To have him die basically heroically at the state line,
which I think is going to be real hard on Ava.
Yeah,
like I mean, right there. Yeah,
I mean that's the thing is but he got her there. That was the whole thing.
I told you. He told her. I told.
I told you.
I told you. Told you, Robert. That's what was going to happen. And then he wrote it.
I just want you guys to know, Robert totally wrote all these because he didn't listen to my idea about me becoming an alien. I wanted to do like District 9.
Come on.
I did think about that was one of the reasons why I had him get shot, like shoot himself, was because I was like, I don't want him to become a shrieker.
Yeah.
There was a part that I added earlier in one of the episodes when they go to that house and kind of explore it, and there's just like a dead family in the basement or whatever, and one of the things that Ava and Mark talk about were like, could you shoot me if I was a creature and all that kind of stuff, and both of them were like, I don't want to be a creature, so do it kind of thing. And I figured that's why Mark would eventually just off himself. I didn't want the idea of him running around as a shrieker. Like,
well, it's almost like poetic how he did it because it was quite literally like, well, this is all I can do. Yeah,
like, and he was already hurt and his leg was hurt. Like, he's bloody, he can barely run. And then I figured, like, at that point, he's just like, screw it. I lured them. Hopefully, Ava and I'll get away.
I really feel like you could have done something really great for patrons and edit it where you just hear and that was it. I pulled the trigger and you hear click. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No. Oh, God.
No, that would be so sad.
That would be great.
That'd be great.
I died. What's not sad?
I know, that's true. No, he can't be a shrieker. That's why I added that in there. I will say that when I uploaded that episode, which...
Single tier?
When I uploaded it... Okay, so a couple things. That episode probably took me 80 to 100 hours to edit. Wow. Like, no lie. Like, I every morning I would wake up on days that I didn't have to work my regular job, I would wake up at 8 or 9, edit till about noon, take a break, come back, edit for a couple hours, and do about 4 or 5 hours a day. That action scene, which is like the majority of that episode, is like 50 minutes, and it's a 50-minute action scene. So like finding all the sound effects and everything, it was just a pain. Because, I mean, how do you... find like a spaceship shooting a jet out of the sky that flies into a house and explodes and debris going. I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking for all
the easiest thing to
come on,
dude. It was rough, and then
just play Starship Troopers in the background.
No, that's copyrighted.
No, just you talk over Casper Van Dien. And...
No, yeah. I should have just casted him in a role.
He's probably
not doing anything. Yeah, he's not doing anything.
He's probably available.
But one of the things I was gonna say is I downloaded new music for this, and I actually spent about $100 on new music just for this episode, for the finale. And the reason was I wanted something that was like super dramatic while they were running through the destruction. I actually found 2 songs by the same guy on Pond 5 that were like 10-minute songs, but like actiony. So I put those in there, and then I found like a sad song for when Mark dies that I was like, oh, this one's getting to me. I'm like, this is the one. I listened to like probably 100 songs on Pond 5, just going through searching different keywords, and finally I found like this one. I was like, yeah, he's running. Yep, this is the one.
Yeah. So, play the scene over and over again, and then you have the audio that's bad for it. You're like, no, God, that sounds awful.
No, actually, I think that whole episode turned out good. One of the biggest complaints we get for End of All Hope is like the acting, and it's mostly for the first season. Like people complain.
Well, I wonder why.
Well, that's the thing.
Because it was me.
No, I was saying because I was looking at saying that was the first time I did any dedicated
for real,
and it was
like long-term voice acting. Yeah,
it was years ago. It was before anything, and even some people will complain about the editing and stuff. And I'm like, I get it. That was when we started. That was we didn't know what we were doing. So I think everything's gotten better, and that's why I always try to encourage people to like get past the first season, because I think it all gets better after that. The editing, the music, all the stuff. So most of our fans who enjoyed the episode and that I posted on like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter all commented either at the finale that they cried or were super sad or couldn't stop yelling throughout the episode. So I think most people enjoyed it.
I just like that we elicit some kind of emotion, whether it be...
the fact that people were like shedding tears from like a podcast is like crazy to me that we got to that moment.
It got to a point when I was on my way home. I'm like, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Wow, he actually is done.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm done now. That's not to say, even though you're moving away.
no, I take a microphone with me.
Yeah,
Like-
because Nick also
I'll
is.
take this one.
Both of you guys are in movie night.
This one's mine.
No, not that one. But both of you are in movie night, which is a sitcom style podcast that we do,
Yes.
and we're going to continue with that. So that's not to say that you're done voice acting. It's just you're done. Mark's done.
Mark
Mark.
is done. Well, you got to California. I mean, what else do you want?
I mean, that's the thing. And a lot of people actually emailed us and we were like, because it left on a cliffhanger where Ava just kind of shows up to Scott's
Opens the
house
door
and
and-
opens the door. Is like, anybody here? And then it just cuts off. People were like, what the hell? How do you leave
But
it like
that's
that?
the good thing. Like,
Yeah,
right.
come
Get
back
people,
for season
mad who
5.
want it.
Yeah.
And that's the point is that I want people to come back and leave it on a cliffhanger. But a lot of people did email us and say, you're doing a season 5, right? And I'm like, yes. We're already writing it. We were already going to start recording for it because Hope's going to actually stick around after this.
Yeah,
Do
it's
a couple
so great for
episodes.
you.
So excited.
I just want to say that as much as I appreciate all the people who like voice characters for me and all that kind of stuff, it is a struggle sometimes to freaking like figure out the timelines
coming
of
and
everybody
when, yeah.
to come over and when.
I feel bad when I do cancel on you.
I'm
something.
just, it's fine. I'm just saying, it's just funny because like sometimes like I'll plan. I'm not even talking about you guys specifically. I'll plan for somebody, and then somebody else will be like, I can only do that day, and I'm like, well, I'm already recording somebody that day. And they're like, well, that's the only day I can do. I'm like, all right, let me see if I can move the other person up or something. So then I'll move the other person up, and then I do that, and then the person who I just moved the schedule up for is like, I can't make it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you son of a bitch. but again.
Hey, you
most
get
of
what
it's
you
friends.
pay for.
I know, exactly. Most of it's friends, and I know most of you guys are just doing it to like help me out. So I always appreciate that, and hopefully we can keep it going and keep doing more episodes and stuff.
Are you doing a bloopers one too?
Yeah, I'm actually.
Oh my God! Some of the hardest I've ever laughed was yelling at Ava. Being
going for Bree.
Well, no, going for Bree, just being like, all I would remember thinking was, I'm going to give her cover. And I think on some of the outtakes, I was literally murmuring to myself, I could just let her get eaten.
Yeah,
I could just run. Let her die.
Just run.
You want to go after her?
I will say that was one complaint that people did not like Bree.
I'm not a huge fan.
But she's young. She doesn't know what's going on.
She killed Mark.
She didn't kill Mark. She got blown up by a freaking jet flying by or whatever. I mean, she got knocked down by debris.
Well, now you have work in season 5. Make people fall in love
but
with
that's
her.
what hates. That's the thing is, I'm actually my goal for season 5, which has always been my goal. Eventually, I wanted it kind of to turn out this way. It was to redeem actually Jay a little bit because he's been kind of whiny and pushy. So is Ava, but I feel like even through season 4, she's kind of come around. So I don't think it's not whiny, but like a little more pushy.
Yeah.
To the detriment of her friend or whatever.
I agree.
But I think that's why I gave her more backstory and Mark more backstory with some flashbacks about them talking about relationships or about the time that Mark kissed her. That
kiss scene, yeah.
Yeah, like I try to do some flashbacks, give them a little bit more. So that way it doesn't seem like Ava's really like taking advantage of Mark. It's just Mark likes doing the stuff for Ava. He's always liked Ava. He would do anything kind of thing.
But that always makes me feel bad too. I'm like, oh, is she playing on that too? But I don't think she is now. I do think she cares
To me,
about him.
when I was writing it, I never felt that way, that she was doing that. She was just so dead set on getting to Scott. And the fact is, some people were like, well, why wouldn't she? One person I think posted one time was like, well, why wouldn't she like wait and wait to see what happens? And it's like, but if she waited, look what happened.
It's a crazy world. The thing is like it was almost a treat because you gave us something to put our blinders on and go at. Like the world was fucking crazy, but in every iteration, we were going to California. We're going to California. What's doing? We're going to California.
Some of those people that were crazy is because they have nothing else to do.
That's just it. We're going west because we heard west. It's like, okay.
No, one of two video game series I look towards for like inspiration were Last of Us. Obviously, I played Last of Us 2, and after playing, I got a kind of like a kind of hit writer's block when I was writing season 4 at one point, and I played Last of Us 2, and it got me back into writing. I was like, okay, back to the apocalyptic stuff. So after I played that, I did that. And then Resistance, which was an old PS3 game, which is about alien invasion, different creatures and stuff. I looked at that and the fact that if you play the Resistance games, things do change. The environments change. They were like kind of like... Mm-hmm. It was more alien and stuff, not just apocalyptic, but it was more of like an alien world. And that's what I kind of wanted. I wanted that War of the Worlds style vibe where it's like aliens are taking over. So if she waits too long, I mean, obviously it was already going to take a long time to get across, but look, there's already alien plants everywhere.
I always appreciate because the fact that, I mean, every post-apocalyptic movie that started with aliens, it's all of our stuff everywhere. Why wouldn't there be vegetation from aliens? I always found that kind of unique that it was just like, well, they don't eat it, and our things eat it and die, so...
But it's also like, why, like, to me, it's like, if they're coming to take over, are they going if they're going to live here or whatever, then they're going to have to terraform and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's kind of what the goal was. And I wanted to do where a lot of apocalyptic movies either already start off apocalyptic, like they're already in the apocalypse and you're learning about these characters during the apocalypse, or they do kind of like flash forward like with Walking Dead where he wakes up in a hospital and things are already done. So I wanted to have that transition of this is when things are about to happen and we're going to see this whole transition from the start to wherever it ends, which I don't know how many seasons we're going to do.
At least 5.
How many seasons you're going to do.
At least 5.
if you want to keep recording. Hope. We'll see.
Pressure.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how many seasons we do, but we'll at least have 5. I think it's gonna be more than 5 though too. So, but we'll see. Who knows? I'm trying to think what else I wanted to mention before.
Robert actually shot me for some of these takes.
Yeah, just
didn't tell me he was gonna do it. He just did.
That's why you're walking with a limp right now.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. I thought there's one other thing I wanted to mention. I guess I don't want to say too much about season 5 yet, so I won't say anything.
Ooh, especially because I know where the story's going.
Yeah,
I don't think I know yet. I don't think we've talked season 5.
I thought I told you a little bit.
Maybe. I usually get right when I go to record. Tell me what's going on. What's
I mean, that's
happen?
true. I don't. A lot of it comes down to everyone sees the script for the first time when they come over to record because everyone's just busy. So it's like hard to read beforehand or like read the other.
I always appreciated the humor that was just inherently wrote in.
I mean, I try to also read against you guys to make it easier and more natural now. Like that
is true because Ava's voice in my head is Robert.
Yeah.
Every voice in my head is
Hello.
Robert.
That's how I do your voice.
No.
Hello. I don't know how to do a old woman's voice.
But that's how he does it.
An old woman?
I know. I said just a woman.
Oh, they said an old woman. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
Well, now you're getting a season 5.5.
Yeah, maybe at the most. Yeah, no, it would be fun to kind of explore where it goes from here. Because they did reach California. That's like the tag.
That was the goal.
Or that's the
And now
line.
they're there. If she finds Scott, what does she do? And if she doesn't, what does she do?
Okay, really quick. Well, I think I already told. I can't ask. I'll ask Hope because I don't think I asked or told you about season 5 too much yet. Do you think Scott's there?
I feel bad saying it, but no, I don't think he's there.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Maybe her mom.
Wait, why would her mom be there and not Scott?
I think it'd just be fun.
She became like the road warrior.
The dog. The dog, just the dog.
I don't know, because I also think it'd be fun to have him there, and then he's just not, like, they both
He's already moved on.
Yeah, he's already moved on. This is Tina. Listen, it's been months.
But I think she's
I thought
changed.
you died.
She's an alien. She's an alien.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so I really wanted to know visual reference when you picture the Thrasher.
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 Yeah. I always like
Thrasher shark.
What image comes to mind? Because I'm thinking literally the crawly ones from Starship Troopers.
No. So Thrasher, let me think. There's got to be like a movie that maybe has a little more.
Pitch Black. Think those are aliens.
No, that's not Thrasher though. I would say they probably look more like Predator dogs. Like
okay, like the pig things.
But they're bigger.
Yeah,
they're probably like 7 feet or whatever. If they stood up and stuff.
But
they're like a little bit
horrifying.
Kind of like alligator like, but with where they can run like longer arms.
All right, terrifying.
Yeah, so that's how I imagine the Thrasher. Shriekers are just infected people, so they're like zombies, kind of. Stalkers, though, are more like, I guess maybe somewhat like
the alien bug things.
No, like District 9.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kind of
like
shrimp.
That. The what are they called? The
prawns.
The prawn people.
Yeah, you never saw District 9?
No.
You should watch it. It was nominated for Best Picture.
Yep.
I haven't seen all the nominated ones. I've just seen the ones that won.
Well, now you got to watch all the nominated pictures.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot of movies.
Start with District 9 and then give up.
Yeah. And then just watch the movie that we want you to watch.
Shut up, Robert. Don't do that.
But I imagine that's what they kind of look like, but with smaller heads.
Okay.
That's just my interpretation. Who knows? I mean, maybe one day we'll get it animated or something. I don't know.
That'd be kind of cool.
I think
it'd be cool, but it's so expensive to get animation, and I can't
don't know anybody that draws. Just be like, hey, draw this.
Literally, I draw, and I'm not doing scene by scene by scene.
Yeah, that is so
but
so
at least
much
draw
work.
the creatures. That'd be cool.
I had somebody draw some mock-ups of what the creatures look like.
Now,
that was pretty good.
That would be
it's
cool
on Patreon
only for stickers.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, I should post
just
put
like a thought bubble, Ava.
Just different quotes. I don't even know what other quotes there would be for End of All Hope, other than
God damn it,
Mark
Jay.
screaming Ava. Yeah, damn it, Jay. Ambridge does say that a lot. Like, come on, Jay. There's a lot of come on, dude. Will you just stop?
The ultimate sass.
Although somebody who just listened recently did message on Twitter and say that they were actually Team Jay and anti-Ambridge, and I was like, really? I'm like, you're the first person that's against Ambridge. Only because I don't know,
that's the same people who like Bulbasaur.
Yeah, probably.
I like Bulbasaur.
Like you. Yeah.
I like Bulbasaur.
Charmander, Squirtle kind of people.
Fuck you
Most
guys.
Most people.
He's a tank.
Pikachu people. I don't know. It's everybody's. I mean, it's cool though that people like different characters. That's the whole thing. Is hopefully we can redeem some of the characters because I have some story ideas for certain ones. Even Ava, she's gonna go through some stuff. For
I'm interested to see where you're taking me.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Just come back to Mark.
Decomposing.
Come back to Mark, and it's
body.
just like a dog eating me.
Yeah, that's it. Get into character for this one. I guess that's it for the whole thing. I mean, we did the whole recap basically. Talked about season 5 a little bit. I don't want to give any spoilers for that. I will say now that season 4 is wrapped up, we're starting to work on season 5, and I am working on the side story of Denver Falls on Patreon. I released the first episode already, so if you're Six Slam on Patreon, I think is the bonus episodes, you can get all the bonus episodes and side stories of different podcasts that we do, and one of them is Denver Falls. The first episode's already out, but it's taken me a while to get episode 2 out just because I've been working on season 4 so much. But now I'm going to focus on getting the rest of Denver Falls out, which should be about 5 episodes, and it follows Mia and Kylie. Oh, that is one thing I want to mention real quick before we go. Some people think Ambridge and Jay are gay.
I love it.
And they've mentioned that, but they're not.
It does explain a bit of the frustrative dynamic.
But to me, I always wrote them as big brother, little brother thing. Mm-hmm. Like Ambridge is kind of like the big brother.
And you're getting a lot of
Jay.
comments that
I've had a few people reach out and be like, just tell him you love him. like to Jay. And I was like, they're not. I mean, maybe I feel like it wouldn't be.
I wouldn't feel like Ambridge would say that anyway. It'd be probably more along the lines of like God damn it, Jay, it's so hard to love you.
Yeah, something frustrated. I just never saw that, but some people did, and
it makes you want to write it that way.
No, because I already wrote. I can't change it now. I already have what the story. Yeah, there's a story that's gonna come up, so I can't.
So what you could do is actually make it to where Jay Ambridge falls in love with Jay, and then make the entire show a dream sequence for Jay because he was very bored at the environmental
QZ. Oh yeah, it should just be it's just all a dream sequence for. No, Ava's just gonna wake up and it was all a bad dream.
If this happens, I swear to God.
No, I know.
I just feel like her question would be like, does that mean I sleep with Mark or
yeah?
What the fuck?
And where is Ambridge?
No,
you did meet Ambridge. Oh no.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
In a truck.
Yeah. In one of the QZs a long time ago in season 1.
Quarantine zone.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess that does it for this. So definitely thank you if you're on Patreon and you donate and you want to listen to those episodes. Like, thank you for donating and check them out. We're going to try to get more episodes of Denver Falls up there soon. I'm already editing episode 2, so it should be out probably by next week or 2. And then if you want to donate to Patreon, if you don't and you want to check it out, you can go to patreon.com/7lamb, the number 7 LAMB. You can donate as little as $1 a month, and it all goes to helping us create content such as End of All Hope, such as all of our other podcasts, which we have a ton of different shows we do. Paralyzed is our horror fiction. We have Tower 4 is a mystery thriller set in the Wyoming woods. We have Story, which is every season is a different tale. Like season 1 was a drama comedy about 5 friends walking across the country. Season 2 is a thriller that takes place on a Hebridean island. So we got a lot of stuff. Atlas Avenue Beat is our film noir spoof. So if you like detective shows, it's really raunchy and stuff at times, but definitely check that out. Yeah, we just got a bunch of shows, so you can go to 7lamb.com to find everything there. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Of course.
Oh, my pleasure.
And right when you leave, Nick, when that front door shuts,
we're going to be recording.
We're going to be recording. And also, you're out of my life, buddy.
Oh, my God. That's so sad.
Well, let's just say this much.
Seeing ya.
We'll be meta here. This is probably the last time I will be recording in this room. So
that's true. But you're going to set up a recording studio. And we'll keep in touch.
I am, and it's pandemic, so Zoom's gotten better.
Yeah. So we'll keep in touch for sure. And then, Hope, you get to record now.
Yay!
She's going to leave right after this.
I'm just going to ask you questions about season 5, and then we're going to talk for 45 minutes.
And then she's going to have to go.
And then I leave.
I want me to put her phone on the counter out there?
Just hide it somewhere so she can't leave right away.
That's when you get mad. Like
That's
when my phone goes off.
That's true. Or when you wear dangly earrings.
I know. Or my bracelets. The bracelet, I stopped with the bracelets. I don't even put them on if I'm coming over here.
She doesn't wear bracelets at all anymore.
When I come over here.
Ever. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining me, guys. And thanks, everyone who listened. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to season 5, which we don't know when it's going to come out, but it will be sometime. So see you guys. Bye.
Bye.
This has been a 7 Lamb production.